Myself PJ Patel, working as a lecturer in Sharad Institute of Technology. Today I am going to discuss regarding locating and clamping principles that can be used on the shop floors. Earlier in the last lecture of introduction to jig and fixture, I have discussed regarding the various degrees of freedom that a simple job can have and how to restrict the degrees of freedom. Also after that you have seen various locating and clamping devices, but prior to designing a jig and fixture you must understand what kind of locating and clamping principles that are to be used before finalizing the positions of clamping and locating devices. First of all, we will discuss the principles of locating. The first principle of locating is one or more surfaces, preferably machined and or drilled or bored hole, are to be taken for reference. Most suitably, a drilled or bored hole is good for locating. If there is no such holes, you can go with the machined surface. The second principle of locating is the reference surface should be significant and important feature based on which most of the dimensions are laid down. Now consider this figure. Okay, here this is a locating button and this is a locating surface. So this surface should have that importance regarding the or with respect to the machining surface. So consider there are holes are to be drilled on this job. So compared to this surface, that holes are to be prepared. So this surface has importance. So selecting a reference surface should have significant and important features. Okay, next is for ease of cleaning, locating surface should be as small as possible. Okay, the locating pins should have small surface, the surface exposed to the workpiece should be as small as possible for cleaning purpose. Next principle, locating surface should be raised above the surrounding surface. Now if you observe this figure, okay, this locating button or locating pin is having this locating surface. Okay, the workpiece will rest on this surface and this much portion will raise the workpiece from bottom plate, that is jig or fixture plate. Okay, and this much portion is going to or it is to be inserted into the jig plate or fixture plate. Okay, so we require to raise the surface above the surrounding surface. Next is sharp corner must be avoided for locating surface. Okay, as there is a machining force, okay, if you use the sharp corners as a locating device, it may create distortion, some kind of distortion, and that may lead to change in dimensions of the machining feature. Okay, so locating surface as a sharp corner must be avoided. Next is locating pin must easily accessible and visible to operator. Whenever you are going to put a workpiece on the locating pin, the worker should easily place it over the locating pins. Okay, as sometimes the workpiece is heavy. Okay, it is not possible to visualize all the locating pins easily by the operator. So in that case, some kind of arrangement can be made that can lead to easy locating of the workpiece. Next is locating should be easy, quick and accurate. as far as possible the locating should be easy, quick and accurate. That is the basic requirement of designing the locating. Next, in case of locating by pin, the pins and their mounting and contact point should be strong, rigid and hard. If you use such kind of locating pins, then the their mounting, okay, this is the mounting surface which is to be inserted into the jig or fixture plate. Okay, this should be strong, rigid and hard, so that it cannot be easily deformed, because while machining, in operations like face milling, side milling, there is a more force. So to avoid distortion, the contact point should be strong, rigid and hard. Next is, a minimum of 3 points must be used to locate the horizontal flat surface. As we have seen earlier, this in 3-to-1 principle, that 3 pins are to be placed at the bottom surface, so that the workpiece can be easily placed here. Then 2 pins are to be placed on the either side and 1 pin on the another side of the workpiece. So that may lead to restrict 12 degrees of freedom. So minimum 3 points are required at the bottom for the horizontal flat surface. The locating pins should be as far as apart as possible. Okay, these pins should be as far as apart. Okay, too close may lead to fluctuate, it will not properly hold or properly position the workpiece. So as far as possible, the locating pins should be kept apart. Next is, V blocks and cones should be used for self-locating solid and hollow cylindrical jobs. The most preferable locator for cylindrical workpieces is V block. Okay, also we can use clamping feature along with V block for the ease of clamping and locating. Then site location is applicable to first operation, location of blank with irregular surface produced by casting, forging, etc. When the bracket is first located on the two edges to machine the bottom surface, which will be used for subsequent locating. Once the workpiece is manufactured from casting and forging operation, all the surfaces are rough. So considering these surfaces as a locating surface is quite difficult. Okay, so irregular surface which are produced by casting and forging, okay, should have undergone with the site location. Okay, then you can go for that surfaces can be machined or grind, then after which that machined surface can be used as a locating surface. Okay, then next is principles of clamping. Earlier in the previous slides you have understood the principles of locating. Now we will understand the principles of clamping. Clamping need to be strong and rigid enough to hold the blank firmly during the machining. So while machining, the force exerted by the tool on the workpiece is more, so to avoid any distortion or any deflection of the workpiece, the clamping need to be strong and rigid enough. Next is, clamping should be easy, quick and consistently adequate. Okay, This is again like locating that should be easy, quick and consistent. So in order to increase the rate of production and ease of operator, it should be easy, quick and consistently adequate. Next is clamping should be such that it does not affect by vibration, chatter or heavy pressure. Okay, sometimes if the workpiece is thin and you are putting a more clamping force, that may lead to bending of the workpiece. So in that case, you must understand the sufficient clamping force which is to be required for clamping, and also vibrations which are created while machining the surface. Okay, this vibration may deflect some, that may create a minor error in the machining. So a finished project, a finished workpiece may get reject as a result of this vibration and heavy pressure. Next is the way of clamping and unclamping should not hinder loading and unloading the blank in the jig or fixture. Okay, so while clamping and unclamping, okay, the devices that you use for clamping and unclamping, it should not affect the loading and unloading of the workpiece. Okay, if it is creating a trouble or it is taking much time, then it should be avoided, as a more time will consume for clamping and unclamping. So to avoid it, most of the times you can prefer a best way that you can analyze by using different clamping devices, and a preferable one can be used. Next is the principles of clamping, that the clamp and clamping force must not damage or deform the workpiece, as heavy pressure of clamping may deform the workpiece. Like if the workpiece is too thin, okay, or it is too small, then at that time a low clamping force is to be used. Okay, if you observe this figure here, this lever mechanism of clamping is most of the times used for thin objects. Next, clamping operation should be very simple and quick acting when the jig or fixture is to be used more frequently and for large volume of work. Okay, the clamping time should be minimum, because to increase the rate of production, loading and unloading time, locating time and clamping time, these all times are considered as a production time. So in order to reduce the time of production and to increase the rate of production, okay, the clamping should be simple and quick. Next, clamps which moves by slide or slip or tend to do so during applying clamping force should be avoided. Sometimes in clamping devices, the clamps, while applying the force on the clamps, it may try to slide, slip or tend. So selecting the proper surface for clamping is important, and also the clamping method is important to avoid such cases. Next, clamping system should be comprised of less number of parts for ease of design, operation and maintenance. With low number of clamping devices is preferable for jigs and fixtures, because for the ease of design, that is, the design of jig and fixture can be easy and it can be at produced at a low cost. Also for the operation, if the minimum number of parts are there on the jig and fixture, then operation will be easy. There will not be any obstruction to the operation, and also the maintenance. Okay, fewer the parts, fewer the maintenance. Next, the wearing parts should be hard or hardened and also be easily replaceable. If you observe this figure, this surface which comes in contact with the workpiece should be hardened, because if it is not, it will wear fast. Okay, so in order to avoid the wearing of the surface of this portion, okay, which comes in contact with the workpiece, it should be hardened. Clamping force should act on heavy parts and against supporting and locating surface. Okay, so here in this figure, here it is the locating surface. You can observe this as a locating surface, and the clamping is applied against this locating surface. So any support or any locating surface below the workpiece, okay, then you can use clamping device above this, okay, which will firmly clamp the workpiece on this jig and fixture. Next, clamping force should be away from the machining thrust force. Okay, here thrust force generated while machining, that when you use the milling cutters, okay, for face milling, more thrust is developed. Okay, so not only for the drilling operation that only one dimensional force is there, but in case of milling operation, that two dimensional forces are induced. In that case, thrust force is need to be considered, so that the clamping force is sufficient to overcome this thrust force. Next, clamping method should be foolproof and safe. Foolproofing is the most important role. Okay, so a small change in the clamping, okay, if you increase the clamping force and if the workpiece changes its position, okay, then that may lead to incorrect manufacturing of or machining of the surfaces. Next, clamping must be reliable but also inexpensive. Okay, as far as reliability is considered, the clamping devices which you use with a higher quality may lead to expensive, but sometimes for mass production you can go for reliable, and for job and batch production you can go for inexpensive. The next part is ejectors. Okay, besides locating and clamping devices, some ejectors are used in jigs and fixtures. Okay, so ejectors have a role to eject the workpiece from the jig and fixture device. Okay, so it is used to remove the workpiece from close fitted locators and are present behind the workpiece. Sometimes symmetrical parts are there. Okay, for that operator which is going to operate the machine, okay, while loading the workpiece on the jig and fixture, that may create a false loading. Okay, if you observe this figure here, a same workpiece can be located by means of this hole, but position will be different. Okay, so this can be mounted on this position and this position also, but using a simple pin. Okay, this pin will avoid the loading of workpiece of this condition. Okay, so this is called as a foolproofing. It ensures that the part fits into the tool in its correct position. Okay, only the simplest and most cost effective method is positioning a foolproof pin. Okay, so this is called as a foolproofing. Thank you.